Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and or the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time through the language of synchronicity by the universe. And this is a timely reading, meaning that if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. So the first card out for the underlying energy here is the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles represents an energy of you being in an elevated position. This is talking about, that's what's standing on this bench. Someone has come here to admire your work. The spotlight is on your work. This is beautiful sculpting done by this individual. This energy can sometimes represent you've mastered your skill set and people are starting to now want to collaborate with you. The pentacles represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. And of course, the part of that is money. And so the pentacle energy is represented by coins. And the coins representing the money are about, yes, we acknowledge that we need money to be able to be happy in the 3D world. Having said that, you could have all the money in the world, and if you don't have your health and you don't have love in your life, you're not going to be living the best lifestyle that you could live. This is talking about being in this elevated position. Quite often this can represent an energy that maybe you have, you're excelling in whatever field you're in and people are starting to notice. This person has done some beautiful stonework here. Look at the beautiful carvings here. And these people have come with plans in hand to collaborate with this individual. So this is good news that people are noticing your good work. But this card is also saying be very careful when you're in an elevated position like this, that anyone coming to approach you with plans, that they are in accordance with what you want in your lifestyle. And so if you're signing any contracts or agreements, make sure that you have a lawyer that knows what these agreements are about. Look over them to make sure that there's no loopholes or energy that is not, something that you don't notice yourself. Because this quite often, this can be someone who's in an elevated position in a field where there's, it's not that easy to find someone so specialized. This can represent the entertainment industry. So this would be actors, actresses, and all of a sudden you're approached by directors and producers for the lead role in blockbuster, their next blockbuster movie. This could represent the energy of for a musician, someone that you are, they have approached you. They want you put you on a concert tour. You have a record deal happening. That type of energy. This could represent you might be a really good athlete, and these are scouts coming by and they're from colleges or universities and they want you to come and play for their team. Or better yet, you already are playing for the university or college team. And this is scouts looking for pro players. And so this is really, really good energy. And it's also a warning at the same time to make sure that any contracts or agreements you make, you've really looked into the situation really well, because quite often this card can represent secret society energy. So secret society have their own rules, and the group the group is always way more important than any individual in the group. They have their own rituals, their rules, the set ways. And if you're not aware of this energy, you could end up, it could end up putting you in a position where the lifestyle that you want to live is not available to you anymore. And we have the denial is from my oracle for the underlying energy for the reading. I've been doing little meditations beforehand to see if I can get an idea of what's going on when I pull the first two cards. So the denial is what I don't know won't hurt me. And this is the Queen of Denial. This is a painting from my Oracle Tales from the Vector. I started this back in 2007, and in 2020 I completed all 64 paintings. This painting is from the series from when I was in Peru and I was in ceremony with shaman. And this is one of the visions that I had. And so this is talking about making sure that this energy is saying, make sure you're not in denial of what the clauses in the contracts are. Make sure that you know exactly what you're signing up for. And this could represent some sort of denial within a group, that type of situation. We'll keep going and see. Like this is not a great card to start a reading off with. This is the 10 of Swords, and this is talking about sabotage. And this can represent, someone's been, if this is a collective energy, you've been stabbed in the back and left for unalive. And you're laying there and you're doing your best to get back up again. This is talking, it can talk about the 10 is representing a new cycle happening. So, and this person does have their hand in the form of a blessing. So this could represent that there's been like a decade of energy basically directed to you in this way. And now you're moving into a new cycle, into a new decade, like a new decade of energy. Or it could be, one person has done this to you 10 times. That would be annually. This could represent an energy of 10 different people ganging up on someone to put them in this position. And sometimes it can even be 10 groups of people. So we'll look into this some more. There is light at the end of the tunnel. As I said, then the 10 card is 1 plus 0. It's actually a 1. So it's saying there's a rebirth into a new energy from this energy. So if you need to get up and keep going, whatever's happening, it's starting to shift now. And we have disappointment in love here. So this energy can talk about, if you've ever heard of the saying, don't cry over spilt milk, this energy can be talking about that here. We have two, in this case though, we have 2 cups here and they have wine in them. And then this one has other liquid in it. So what's in this cup? And I would like to know, if you can think back, like what were you doing like 9 to 10 years ago? Where were you? Who were you with? How is that playing out? Because that might give you a clue to maybe this energy and what it's about. There's 2 cups here, and then there's this cup, and this cup is like poisonous to these 2 cups because this sometimes can represent in romantic love, like the cups do represent love, and quite often romantic love. They don't have to represent romantic love. This could be love of anyone or anything, and it could also be love of something you love to do or something you love to be, or it could be all of the above. But this is talking about this extra cup here in a romantic relationship quite often can talk about a third-party energy that breaks the couple up. This can also represent, if this was like representing something you love to do or be, it could be a business partner or something, that there might be someone in the background that you're unaware of, or something going on in the background of your business that you're unaware of. There is also an energy here of it could be regarding people in your inner circle. So people, your family members, your definitely your significant other, lover or spousal energy, business partner. This could be people if you are in a secret society, it could be people within the group. There could be many ways to read this with this energy here. But this is talking about regret and remorse. Could be regret on your part, on their part, on everybody's part. Whatever this is about, you have to accept it as a loss. Whatever the wine's in the ground, the liquid's gone. And this is saying that this is something that's a loss that you're not going to be able to just, blow it off. The best thing to do is turn around and notice these 2 cups are still standing. Pick them up, walk down that path, cross over the bridge over troubled waters to your castle. And you notice in the background there, the castle is half standing and it's half dilapidated. This can represent the energy. What is your attitude going to be? Are you going to look at this situation as the glass half empty or the glass half full? Because that will determine for sure the outcome. So if you're laying there and you're thinking like there's no point in getting up, it's going to be harder to get back up. And this is the Queen of Swords energy. This is talking about learning discernment. The Queen of Swords, she's one of 4 queens in the Minor Arcana. She is considered like the coldest of all the queens. She hasn't always been this way, but she's been there, done that, and has the t-shirt. She doesn't want any more souvenirs about bullshit. She has her left hand out, so she says, I'm willing to receive, but you better come into me correct, or don't bother talking to me at all. I'm not putting up with any bullshit. She has her sword in her right hand. This means that she's willing to wield it at a moment's notice if there's any bullshit around her. The one bird in the background here is in all the sword cards. There's flocks, or there's 1 or 2 birds, whatever the energy is. And this is saying that she's independent. This quite often can represent someone who's divorced, especially if the Queen and the King of Swords come together in a reading. It can indicate a couple that's been divorced. The energy, because between the King and the Queen, when you see them together, they won't even look at each other. They're past it. And so this is saying she has her head above the clouds. She has clarity about what she will and will not tolerate in her life anymore. She longs for the days when she could just say, off with your head. And she's not in the mood for bullshit at all. And then this is talking about, this can represent commitments to marriage. It could be partnerships, and it can also be, partnerships, commitments. So the commitment could be to be having a good life. This represents the beginning of fulfillment. Because I'm just looking at this, the cups of love are spilled here. So this could be talking about a marriage that is no longer viable. And generally this card, when it comes out, this is the official tarot card reading, but it doesn't have to be about marriage. It can be about commitments and partnerships, and which we've already discussed here. This is saying basically, congratulations, you have the down payment for your castle. You're still going to have to continue making the payments on it. This is talking about possibly the question was popped. The person said, yes, you're going to have, you're planning the wedding, and then you're going to have to pour energy into the relationship, into the marriage for it to be fulfilling. But there's great promise here. This also sometimes can just talk about a new foundation to stand on, like a new beginning coming in, especially with this card here. It can be talking about some sort of shift coming in. Oh, excuse me. And I don't know, all of a sudden my voice is leaving me here. I apologize. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't have a cold really, but I did wake up feeling very stuffed up. There might be something blowing around out there in the breeze. So this is can represent a new foundation that you're starting, like a basis for you to start on in a new path, or a new, this is saying a new way of living, a new foundation for life. So let's just keep going here. This could be like a really good agreement, and that's what, maybe it's going to set you off on a really good path. There's just, though, every tarot card has its pluses and its minuses. Just like every group has, the good and the bad in it, and there's bad apples in the group sometimes that wreck it for everybody. We have the Page of Cups energy. And so the Page of Cups is talking about an offer of love. Now, sometimes this card, let's just talk about the pages for a minute first. The pages represent an energy of someone that's younger. The pages would work for the king and the queen from the age of about 7 to 14, which sounds very young, but you have to remember back in those days, they didn't, their life expectancy was about half of what it is now, so they didn't enjoy childhood and adolescence as we think of it today. But this would be a real coup to work for the king and the queen. They would just basically deliver messages and communication back and forth in the palace walls. This would be, as they became older, they would be given more and more responsibility, and possibly even when they reached 21, they could become be up for knighthood if they could afford to purchase their own horse. And this is talking about communication coming in about someone who has their eye on you. This is saying someone has their eye on you, and they want to offer you a cup of love. Now, this page knows there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he has his focus totally on this one. So this has someone who's very focused on you. Sometimes this generally is romantic love, but sometimes it can be talking about a group having, like in this energy here, their eye on you. Sometimes this can be, there's something stinky in your love life, because we have a fish and we know what happens if you leave a fish out of water for too long. And there could be saying there was something fishy in your love life. So it could be definitely with what's going on here. And something stinks in your love life. So those are all options as well. The communication coming in the old days, this would always be in person, but this you don't have to wait for someone to knock on the door with a page communication. So don't be confused by that. This communication could come in by a phone call, a text message. This could be an email. It could be maybe flowers in the mail, or some sort of delivery, or something an invitation that comes in the post. You might be on social media, and there's so many platforms, and maybe someone messages you, or you see something advertised there, or an event, and then you attend that event, and then you meet someone in person. Generally, if you want to get a love offer, you have to leave the house. It doesn't usually just fall in your lap, And so this is talking about, sometimes this can be internet, online dating, that sort of energy. This is talking about, some sort of information or communication coming in. And then we have the 9 of Cups. So the 9 of Cups, this is talking about, having a lot of opportunity coming towards you for love. This is saying it's sitting on this, use your discernment. This could be like new love coming in. So this maybe there was something stinky in the past, but now it's new love coming in. Or this can represent, you could be a public figure, or someone else could be a public figure, because this is on the stage. And that can be quite likely if you're in the entertainment industry, or you're a speaker, that type of energy. You have a public platform, or you work for the public, like you're in government, you're a public employee, that sort of energy. This can be, so this is someone that's on the stage, and this card is saying that this is, you have the opportunity to have everything that you love to have. It's interesting because this cup would make this 10, and then that would be the most that you can have. This card basically, we don't know, are those cards in the past behind him on a shelf? Are they above his head? Are they forward and they're coming into the future? His body language is a little bit incongruent. He has his feet turned out, which is talking about leaking energy from the base chakra, masculine and feminine energy. He has his arms crossed here, but they're almost in the sign of infinity symbol. Sometimes crossed arms like this can represent not being open, but this is the way he has them. It almost looks like he's got an infinity symbol here. So it could be either or. And this is talking about maintaining your focus, because this is saying that you're highly favored to have what you want here. But you have to be careful, basically, who you associate with and what, what you're doing here. And you don't want to lose your focus. Like, you don't want to be taken off your path, because many a race is lost in the last lap. And then we have the energy of, let's see here. We have the Six of Pentacles. Yes, it's saying be careful. See, this is this energy here. This is that energy I was talking about in secret society energy. Like, if there's a clause in the contract, or there's some sort of, read the fine print, basically, because this energy can talk about being breadcrumbed, like everybody else is making money except for you, or you're making money, but you're making very little money compared to what you would be making if you weren't in this contract and someone else is controlling your income. And so this is the Six of Pentacles is representing seeds that you've sown, actions that you've taken in the past, and this is the harvest from them. And this is talking again about watch the contracts that you sign, agreements that you make. This person is receiving coin, but it's not like a huge amount of money. This is charity. And this person has the scales of justice above their head. This is talking about they're not going to receive anything at all. And if you look closely, they have something in their pocket already. And so this is talking about grifter energy, someone who wants to use someone else's money to move forward when they have their own, but they don't want to risk their money. They want to risk your money. It's that type of energy. And then we have the Chariot. So the Chariot is basically saying some sort of that generally this means that there's this shift in energy here that we're talking about here, and this being the end of a cycle here. And remember, this person has their right hand in the form of a blessing. And so this is saying that this energy is shifting for you, like a new beginning is happening here, because you've been on your destined path. And if you've been kind of knocked off the chariot, you managed to get back on it. And so this is talking about when the Chariot shows up, it's saying that it's already happening in the spiritual realm, and it's moving forward. You notice that this person has no reins. There's no need for reins. This is talking about leaving your comfort zone, the city behind you, and moving forward. This energy can also talk about law enforcement coming in to provide justice. It can talk about karma as well. So let's see, let's keep going here. Yeah, the wounded warrior energy. So this is talking about this energy here where you have managed to land 8 wands. And the wounded warrior energy is talking, there's 10 wands in the tarot. So this is so interesting because you're so close to having everything you love. And you've been taking passionate action. The wands represent the element of fire, and they're made of wood because wood fuels fire. So this represents passionate action. And it's talking about you've already managed to plant the seeds of 8 of these wands, and you're on the 9th wand here. So you definitely would be having more than 6 pentacles of energy coming in from this. Your head is bandaged and you look exhausted, and I feel this is your energy here. This is about getting up, and I feel this is the 9th time that you've had to get up in this position, but you have managed to do that, and you've managed to stay on your path, and you've managed to plant the seeds for the growth here in your life right here. So this is 9 and 9. So it's saying you have been taking action to move forward after this has happened to you. And you are using your discernment now to move forward. Yeah, there's been some immature competition. This can talk about competition. You might not even know that you were in competition with these people. Sometimes this is talking about, the competition in around you. And this is very adolescent behavior. It's talking, sometimes this can talk about people using adolescents like themselves to do behavior. And or you could have been an adolescent that was used to do this kind of behavior. So, or you could be working very hard since you were an adolescent. This sometimes can represent sibling rivalry. It can also represent, this is, if you think, this is my Mean Girls card. You think about narcissistic cheerleaders, and they're young. They're in grade 6 or grade, up to grade 10, say, and they're at a competition and they want that trophy. And, they can see that another team is better than them, and they're like, collaborating with each other. How can we take this team down? Because they're going to beat us and we need to win that trophy. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to make sure they do. It's that type of energy. And so this is talking about when you become more mature, you start to realize the competition around you isn't the competition. The competition is within yourself. What can you do to make your what you do that much better, your performance that much better, so that you are, really adding. And if you go out there with that attitude that this time I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be at least 1% better than I was the last time, and the whole team looks at that other team and says, well, clearly they're going to beat us this time, but watch them and let's figure out how they make those moves. And we're going to practice. And when we come back to this next competition, we're going to be so much better. And if everybody on the team has that kind of attitude, then the team is going to come out there the next time and you're going to be like, add it up, it's going to be so much better. And then you actually deserve the trophy. So it feels good to compete in that way. We can learn from the competition as well as competing while we're competing. That's basically what sports are about. They're supposed to teach you how to compete and better your performance, to inspire you to do so. And so this is talking about, the end of a very, this energy is changing. This could be a blessing in disguise. Sometimes rejection is God's protection. So this is group energy, and this isn't like they kind of sort of don't like you. This is like calculated effort to keep you down. And this is about breadcrumbing energy. But you've stayed on your path and you've managed to land these wands despite all of this competition, which is really a huge feat. So congratulations for that. You've managed to maintain your cool. This could be quite public, whatever this is, whatever's going on here. It's starting to be extremely noticeable. It could have involved people in your inner circle, even your spouse, or it could be even someone that in your inner circle for sure, like family or friends or that type of energy. If you own a business, it could be employees, it could be all sorts of things here. There's always, as I said, a lot of these groups do a lot of really good things, and then there's always a few bad apples that, if you don't get to the core of what's going on, you don't really, you don't realize what's happening. Even the people that are in the group don't maybe necessarily understand the extent to how some members are carrying themselves. And so this is talking about a stronger foundation moving in, because you've learned how to be discerning like the Queen and have a very firm attitude when it comes to boundaries, who you're going to let into your life and who you're not. Now, this is talking about this reading. It's someone's in denial here. It could be people in this group not understanding what other members are actually been up to. There could be denial about that. There could be denial in this energy that, hey, my family, my friends, my lover, my spouse would never do this to me. And so, it can be that type of energy. So this is saying, keep going, get back up. It's shifting, the Chariot's coming through. This energy here quite often can say law enforcement is coming through. And this energy sometimes can, when someone's got their eye on you like this, can represent detective energy. an investigation may be going on regarding this, and maybe that's going to be what empowers you. Okay, we're going to clarify this. If you're leaving the reading here, I never know what random shift is going to come up. I do hope this is a benefit to you. Give it a like and comment. If so, please do comment. I would love to hear what this is about for you. And I'm going to clarify now with my oracle. This is something that I started back, as I said, in 2007. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in that gallery. Remember, this is from an oracle from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. These numbers represent how the paintings are numbered in my gallery on my website, and I'm going to post them in the box below in the order they come up here, so that you can look them up if you want. They say a picture paints 1,000 words. A lot of these random shift readings are not super clear for me because they're so random, but this one's kind of pretty clear, actually. So the Emperor is generally someone that is in a high performance individual. That could be you, or that could be representing the people that are involved in this energy. The Emperor energy is usually people in authority. This is someone like that embodies the qualities of all four kings from the minor arcana rolled into one person. So this is talking about a high level of performance. Now, if you've survived all this, you are possibly it has elevated you to Emperor status. And remember that the figures in the tarot are like, they're not gender specific. So they're talking about masculine and feminine energies. So this could be a female in her masculine energy as well as a male. And this is Pisces. The Pisces energy is someone who has authority here. Again, we're talking about authority figures. And we're talking about, the authority to do something. So perhaps this energy that's coming in on this Chariot is someone with authority to look into this properly. As I said, this can sometimes be like a detective energy. The Leo energy is talking about being a leader, having the confidence to be able to do so. Leo energy ruled by the sun. And so this energy is generally happy energy, charismatic. But quite often the Leo energy, what this is saying, it might take you some time to be confident enough to become the leader that you have the ability to become. And of course, if you're in this energy, it's going to improve your performance. Quite often, people wouldn't, if this is your energy, you wouldn't be an emperor unless you'd gone through this. Not saying that justifies it, but that's kind of the silver lining on the cloud. When my horoscope signs come into my readings, I want you to be aware that this is, I'm not talking about individuals, I'm talking about each of the signs. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses and pluses and minuses. We do have a lot of energy coming in here talking about the astrological effects. We have Venus, which is about love, moving into the sign of Leo. Okay. So Venus is moving into Leo on the 13th. So it could be something as I'm doing this reading. So this could have something to do with that. Like this is like, as I'm doing this reading tomorrow, there's Leo is moving into the sign, or Venus is moving into the sign of Venus. And this is about love. And it's also can be about partnerships, etc. And so the Aries energy is talking about having to do things in a new way. And we had Neptune move into Pisces about a month and a half ago as I'm doing this reading, and this is for 14 years now. The Neptune energy has moved from 14 years of Pisces energy into 14 years of Aries energy. So it's representing this energy of this new energy coming in. There might be a new emperor in town, a new authority figure that's taking a second look at this. That's the energy I'm picking up. So this is talking, you know, the denial might be like, oh, we'll never get caught for doing this. We've been doing it for like this for well over 14 years, and our parents did it like that before that. And, you know, we're protected. But there's a new sheriff in town is the energy I'm picking up here. And so that what used to work is not working in the same way. We do have lovers here. So that's confirming that if you have a lover, and you don't now, it could be someone that, or you still have that lover, this energy can be talking about they were also involved, unfortunately. And we have the Hermit. So the Hermit is basically saying that you're going to be safe. This is shifting out of this energy. This is talking about when you have a dark night of the soul, and this is definitely a dark night of the soul. You're wondering, like, should I even bother getting back up again? And this is saying, yes, get up. The Hermit climbs the mountain to isolate. And when the light in his lantern is full of the North Star light, he then is able to come down from the mountain and be able to take action after asking God for help. What do I need to do in this? And not taking action until you get that clarification from God. And so that's what I feel that this is basically saying. The truth is coming out about this situation. There's a lot of people in denial. That could be on both sides. You could have been in denial. Maybe you would have nipped this in the bud sooner, but you didn't. You were in denial that the people that you care about. I mean, this is, it's a lot of people that you just didn't believe that they would possibly be doing this kind of thing behind the scenes. So this hasn't been the most pleasant reading. I never know what I'm going to get with the random shift energy, but someone may need to hear this, so I'll put it out there. I don't really have a lot of clarity on the situation, but there's definitely a new foundation coming through for you, and the energy is shifting. This can represent justice coming in for sure. And, you know, this can also represent there might be a new lover coming in as well. So take it as it applies to you. Remember, this is general or collective, so all parts may not resonate. Hopefully not. All right. I do hope that this has been a benefit to you. And thank you for your likes and comments and subscribes. I really appreciate them, and I'm honored when you do so. Bye for now.